Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for your daily Bitcoin technical update. This is where we do technical analysis specifically on Bitcoin. We will be bringing the dollar a little bit into focus in this one. However, we've essentially showed you how we map out the markets. We use daily ranges to try and sort of give us a benchmark, a pillar of where we think things are going. So my chart is, of course, set to New York time. Reason being is because the American markets are the largest. Certainly when New York wakes up, things typically start to happen and then we progress throughout the day. But the reason we use daily ranges or daily time periods and we plot them out on the charts is so that we know what the swing high and the swing low of the day was. And then we can kind of work out, are we in a trend? Are we in a range? Are we in a downtrend? What's kind of happening? And we know, and we spoke yesterday, and we'll show you, we've been actually running a Twitter thread along with this, and we've been calling the market perfect. This was yesterday's update that we gave, and we had just reached our target. So the target that we gave when we were in this range of consolidation. So we essentially were consolidating here. So you're going to get a pullback. We didn't expect as deep a pullback as this, but then you're going to try and attack this range high of around about 16,880. We smashed it. That's you take profits. Then we've came back down and we said, look at this area as support. And actually the area where this target is and has typically been significant resistance. So you've typically had sellers all along this line, and you of course got that. We looked for, in yesterday's video, once we made this target, a deeper correction before then setting up continuation. We said, okay, you could maybe just get a move to the upside from here, or you could get that correction to the downside. And we got it. If we zoom down into some smaller time frames and we look at the 5-minute chart, you can see you did indeed have that pullback. You didn't quite come into this area, but you found your support on the prior day's high. So what I want to do is I want to put on yesterday's ranges, and I want to look at where we are in perspective. This is a methodology that I am working on teaching to my Patreons. Trading is just it's not, for some people that are traders, it's potentially not a small part, but my Patreon offers, it's really an investment focused Patreon, certainly within the cryptocurrency market. I think I'm very well positioned to comment on the cryptocurrency market. And of course I'm an active investor and trader. But this is the range that we had yesterday. And it's natural that you're kind of, this is not just been resistance recently. We can take this right back and we can look at all the times that this actually acted as resistant. And there's quite a few. So it might take a bit more of a build up before we then push through. The next target that we had after this one was met, and actually we have called for some sort of an interaction with this again. It's been quite a steep one. We didn't quite think it would come. We thought it would maybe, I suppose, run this low or come into this low here, which is where we currently are. You do have an area of support here. You are currently slightly below it, but you do have resistance here. So really, what am I looking at moving forward? I'm going to extend this box slightly, which is where you're coming on your finding support, just like we found it yesterday. Two scenarios. One thing that this sell-off here, by the way, guys, and this is why cross-market analysis is so important. It's why we do it on a daily basis. And for those of you that aren't subscribed to the channel, make sure you do so. Go and compare the technical analysis that I give and the market analysis I give and how I do things just based on price structure with your other guys out there giving that do things in a different way. And they've got lines all over their charts. They've got these weird and wonderful versions of traditional technical analysis that don't predict nothing. And predicting the market's extremely hard, but are almost impossible to trade off of. I've tried most methods out there. For me, I find that eyeing a chart up and just trading the price action. And we're not actually yet trading this year. Something we're going to do once we've seen, what sort of a direction January takes, or once we're into January a little bit more. Because I think you're going to get a lot of chart. This is still largely from the FTX spiller range. And I'd like to see some sort of a decisive move, either a deviation to the upside, deviation to the downside, or some sort of trend take place before committing. So this was caused, of course, by the FOMC minutes yesterday, which we covered in our daily cryptocurrency market update video. And this, you got to remember, guys, the dollar is still the story here, and what the Fed and other governments around the world are doing. You can see actually, and I'll take the draw off just for a minute. You can see when the dollar went up here, Bitcoin went down. When the dollar went down here, Bitcoin went up, and vice versa. The dollar's now up, Bitcoin's coming off. So today's sort of vision for me is largely going to be focused on looking at what the dollar is going to do. I am still, in my opinion, on the upside. I still think there's upside, certainly whilst we're holding this. If you do something like this, we might get one sharp stab down and then look to reclaim. Something like that is potentially on the cards, and we'll leave that on the draw to share with the Twitter and add to our thread. But we've been calling this very, very accurately thus far, and the target that we are now looking for is 17,200 thereabouts. So we're looking for some sort of move to the upside. It may take a sharp stab down. Let's see how the traditional markets open. We've got the US futures market, which has just been absolutely smashed, and of course is now open and is currently negative. But in my opinion, Bitcoin's actually holding up relatively well on the back end of it. Doesn't mean it's going to have to happen, but whilst we're holding this, we're still looking for upside, and a lot of people will be looking. They'll be going, the markets are down, so that means we're looking for downside. Play level to level, play support and resistance. It's not an easy thing predicting the markets on a daily basis. I'll see if there's anything I can see. I'm a little bit behind schedule today, guys. It does look like it's leaning over. So this is not, I wouldn't long here, put it that way. Even though you're at this sort of support level, I don't think I would long this. However, I wouldn't short it. I would really just look to see how the day progresses. It's a very strong day for the dollar, which should be bad for crypto. The stock market's down. However, Bitcoin, I actually think, is doing rather well. Now, there's two reasons that this could be. It could be because of lack of people wanting and interested in trading it, or it could be because there's relative strength there at a period where you have very low volatility. And taking more of a zoomed out look, we're essentially looking at this is a double bottom scenario. It's natural that you're going to run into. Look at all the resistance that you've got here. Very natural that this is going to be an area of resistance. You're going to get that candle as the week progresses. Obviously, coming off the back end of FMC, which is quite hawkish, you may get this next daily candle be a green, and we may see and look for that continuation to the upside. And potentially there is a play that we set up, some sort of a in the short term, maybe rising wedge of sorts. So we yet to see. To be honest with you guys, technically today, I don't really have that much of an edge. So this is one of those days that I probably wouldn't trade. I'd just really let wait and see what's happening. You got a bit of a indecisive candle here on the hourly. We'll see how it plays out. For me personally, I wouldn't trade this, but if you are going to trade it, look for breaks of support. Look for this break here, holding. If you do something like this, and then on the move up, if you don't manage to get above it, look for the downside targets that we've given you, which of course would be back down to 16,000. This is a range low, and then actually I reckon you'd get a bid here, and then see what the reaction of the bid is. Does it then fall lower? Then the shorts are in control, or do we then reassert, and does that buying power overwhelm the sell pressure? So for me, it's a bit of one of those days where I just would probably sit out the market and see what takes place. This is the thing with trading crypto. There's a lot going on, and these are all things that you need to contend with. I typically try not to trade around days where there is economic data coming out, because it becomes a lot more of a gamble than than anything else. So potentially this is what we're looking at. This would be my probable play. Maybe there's a sort of rollover, but then Bitcoin can sort of somewhat find its feet. It had a great day yesterday, so it's natural that there's a slight retracement after making a target that we were really calling from down here at the start of the year. On the 2nd, we've been tracking this and calling for this upside. We're now looking for maybe a little bit more downside before we get that continuation to the upside. We did say once you run this target, we are then looking for more upside. However, you are going to reject off here with the FOMC and everything. It kind of throws a spanner into things. This is the nature of the beast, guys. This is trading. It's a very hard thing to do. And we will 100% not get every single day right in terms of direction. We happen to have done so up until now. However, that doesn't have to be the case moving forwards, and undoubtedly we will get things wrong. All I've got for you in this video, guys, you enjoyed the content, like as always, appreciate it. So, as a comment, and I look forward to seeing you each in the next YouTube video. Thanks a lot for watching, guys.